Mike Dell's World, number 118.
Slumber, a long night's respite, a peaceful, blessed lull, safe in warmth and darkness, receding from the worries and pressures of an ever-accelerating world. But it's time to awaken now, my friend. It's time to face the morning light and the challenges that lie ahead. Because this could be the day. This could be the day when you swing your legs out over the bed and step in something you didn't leave there the night before. This could be the day you knock your toothbrush into the toilet. This could be the day when you bump your head against the shower nozzle and it flies off your skull and into the tile, and you get doused with a spray so hard it's like you're reenacting the Watts riots through nude interpretive dance. This could be the day when your cat coughs up something made of purple yarn and containing exactly 3 plastic googly eyes, and you spend every idle moment wondering what it could have been. This could be the day when your coworker in the adjoining cube emits some gas so foul even he can't stand it, and he has to leave. But you're stuck there smelling it, because you know your boss is on her way to take a look at some numbers. And all you can think about besides how sepulchrally foul it smells is that your boss is going to think it was you. And she does. This could be the day you get ticketed, subpoenaed, audited, and develop an allergy to your favorite comfort food. This could be the day your home team loses, your portfolio crashes, your favorite band breaks up, and the last politician you trust is indicted. Today, one of your teeth could start making a noise when you chew. Today, a bright-eyed, spirited child could run up and punch you in the groin. This could be the day your mother changes her Facebook status from married to it's complicated. Of all the bowel movements you will ever have in your lifetime, one of them has to be the worst. This could be the day for it. Oh yes, my friend. This could be the day you give a client presentation and experience a wardrobe malfunction worse than anything ever seen in the Super Bowl or the Chronicles of Narnia. This could be the day you discover that your right nipple and left nipple have been switched, but you can neither prove it nor properly explain the urgency of the situation. This could be the day you fail to win fast money on Family Feud when you are prompted to name a type of fish not sold in seafood stores and you respond with Aquaman. This could be the day you are forced to choose between skinning a clown with a piccolo or obtaining an accurate count of all pickles sold to lactose-intolerant bellhops of Lithuanian descent between 1984 and 1993, excluding 1986 and any day when Molly Ringwald wasn't wearing panties. This could be the day you start getting nosebleeds every time you see a corn dog. This could be the day you get a coupon in the mail for 5 cents off any avocado purchase totaling $20 or more, and your neighbors lynch you in a fit of jealous rage. This could be the day you are shaken vigorously over a fresh garden salad by an exceptionally large, nearsighted woman who has mistaken you for a bottle of Bacos. The day is new. The day is magical, full of hope, wonder, and infinite possibility. Make it yours, my friend. Make it yours. Carpe diem. That's Latin for get the fuck off of my couch.
Okay, well, that was a tune from the Fump. Actually, the artist is Baldbox. And this could be the day. And, of course, we all have those kind of days every now and again. Let's hope you're not having one today. Anyway, sorry it's been so long since I've podcasted. I've had a couple of busy weeks with everything happening in the mornings and everything happening in the evenings and me having to squeeze sleep in where I can get it. But, yeah, I think things are starting to calm down now. Spring is almost here, I guess. There's still snow if you look around here in Traverse City, but it's really not that bad. In fact, let me bring up the temperature. I think it's close to 60 now, and sunny right now, which is probably the second highest day. Oh, we're forecasted to get to 60 today. And 61 tomorrow, 65 on Friday. Anyway, I'm sure you're all really interested in what was that all about. Anyway, got some weird pop-ups coming up, but yeah, it's 49 right now, supposed to get to 60. And I'll take it. But we still have snow. Like I said, you could find it, in the woods and parking lots and everything. All the normal spots that you find it in the spring. But Lake Michigan is thawed out, and now there's waves out there. Just normal spring. Anyway, enough of me rambling about spring. I posted an article there on my blog at Mike Dell's. No, it's not MikeDellsWorld.com. It's MikeDell.com. I should get MikeDellsWorld.com. I think that's available, unless one of you guys want to get it and point it towards me. Anyway, I posted a blog entry there. That I have declared social networking bankruptcy. I can no longer keep up with Plurk, Identica, TwitArmy, FriendFeed, MySpace, Bebo, I don't know, all the other ones that I've been associated with. And from now on, I'm only posting to Twitter, which cross-posts to Facebook, and I'm only watching Twitter and Facebook. Anything else needs to come to me via blog comment or by one of those two things, or an email. Of course, you know my email address, or if you don't, here it is, mike@mikedell.com. Pretty simple. But yeah, I just got fed up with it. Honestly, Facebook's the one that ticked me off, but there wasn't much I can do about that, because I'd say 50 to 60% of the people I keep track of are on Facebook. It gets a little annoying sometimes. I'll post something on Twitter, and then I'll get a Facebook message back. That doesn't bother me too much, except it's a little harder for me to get the Facebook messages. I can get them. I can get them just fine. I can't respond to them well. With my BlackBerry, I can do all right on the internet, on the web browser, on the computer, just fine. But just what had happened was somebody took a quiz. One of my friends on Facebook took a quiz about what state should you live in. And, that sounded interesting. So I clicked on that and did the whole quiz. Turns out I'm supposed to live in Nebraska. Yeah. I got one friend in Nebraska that I know of. So, sure, he'd be happy to see me out there. But I don't know if Nebraska is exactly where I need to be. But that's what it said. I've driven across Nebraska, and all I got to say about it is it's really long. And other than that, I really didn't have much of an opinion either way. It seemed to me it was mostly really, really straight roads and rolling hills covered with corn, similar to Iowa. Of course, when you get on the western side of Nebraska, it gets a little hilly as you get closer to Wyoming. So, I don't know, I'm sure there's some pretty cool spots in Nebraska, and maybe I'll have to go check it out. But anyway, I took that quiz and told me I should live in Nebraska. And then it told me, hey, another friend of yours challenged me to an IQ quiz. Well, never to back down from a challenge. I suffered through 10 minutes of answering stupid questions on this IQ quiz. Well, the first half of it seemed like a normal IQ quiz, and then the second half of it was all those gotcha questions. Like the one where if a plane crashes on the border of Canada and the United States, where would they bury their survivors? Well, duh, no shit, they don't have survivors, or they don't bury survivors. And those kind of questions. I thought, oh, this is going wrong. But I hung with it because I wanted to see if I beat my friend in the IQ quiz. Well, apparently it was a losing proposition because you get to the end of this, and to get your results, you had to put in your cell phone number so they could text you the results. All right, I'm stupid enough. I'll put that in. That probably knocked 10 points off the IQ quiz. Anyway, I do that, and then it said, click or check out all these wonderful offers, and click yes or no on all of these. So, all right, well, I went through half of them were clicked yes automatically. I clicked no on all of them, hit continue, and there's a whole other page of those. So I did the same thing, hit continue, and then the third time through, there was a whole bunch more. I hit no on all of those. Hit continue. It says you must select yes to at least one. Well, there wasn't one of them there that I'm sure wouldn't produce a lot of spam email or spam text messages or whatever. So I clicked the least offensive sounding one and hit continue, and then there was another page of them. And after about 10 minutes of screwing around with a stupid IQ test, I finally gave up, and then I got to thinking about it. You know what? All these social networks, I'm sure they've all got some redeeming value. It's like, Plurk I could never get into. Just didn't make sense to me whatsoever. And then, friend feed, it seemed like I was getting all kinds of feedback loops where I'd have Facebook post to friend feed and friend feed post to Facebook, and both of them post to Twitter, and finally I just said to hell with it, and so I've since removed everything off of friend feed that I had on there. I don't know, I think there might be something there, but it's gone. I still have the account. I didn't actually close the account or anything. And I put a post up on Identica, Twit Army, and Plurk that I'm no longer going to be using those services, and if you want to get a hold of me, go to MikeDell.com or message me on Twitter or Facebook. And so anyway, so that's my social media bankruptcy. It's just, I don't know. And like I said, the only reason I'm sticking with Facebook is the wife's on there, and she pays more attention to that than she does Twitter. And the other thing is I've met up with a whole bunch of my high school classmates and other friends through Facebook, so I'll maintain a presence there. Although, if you ask me to take a stupid quiz or invite me to some stupid cause, or even just message me there, you got a 50-50 chance whether, well, first off, I'm not going to take any of the stupid quizzes anymore. I'm not going to, play whatever that is, gang wars or mafia wars or whatever that's called. It's, it's a complete waste of time in my estimation, and you know what? I got better things to do. So, anyway, switch gears here. I heard of an interesting story. It's kind of a sad story, but a true one nonetheless. As some of you know, or maybe all of you know, I have a website called flightradio.com. It's all run together, flightradio.com. And it's a very niche website for people who like to listen to aircraft on their police scanners. So I've always had a fascination with aviation and air traffic control, that sort of thing. And being that I was in the Air Force and around airplanes, and and even went through the all the prerequisites to become an air traffic controller in the Air Force, and come to find out I didn't pass the colorblind test, which makes no sense to me because, as you also know, I work in graphic arts now, and I don't have any problem differentiating color, so I really don't know what happened there. But anyway, I didn't get to become an air traffic controller in the Air Force, and had to continue turning wrenches. But anyway, there was an interesting story that happened. Like I said, sort of a sad story. I'll tell it the best I can without actually reading it, because reading stories for me on the podcast doesn't sound so good. But anyway, the gist of it was this guy and his friend were flying, or they flew to Marco Island, Florida. It's off of Fort Myers, Naples area in the Gulf of Mexico. But they flew there for a funeral for a relative of the passenger of the aircraft. They were flying in a Beechcraft King Air 200, which, if you're not familiar, is a rather large private aircraft. Mostly, they use it in corporate aviation. Kind of a slower prop-propelled version of a Learjet. Cabin class twin-engine aircraft with the turboprop engines. And in case you don't know what a turboprop is, that's a jet engine with a propeller. I know it doesn't make sense, but it works. But anyway, they went to the funeral, they did all that, and anyway, they were taking off from Marco Island, and as they're climbing out through, I believe they were up to about 12,000 feet, the pilot in command, the owner of the aircraft, I'm assuming, slumped over and collapsed and died while in flight. Well, the passenger, who was sitting in the right seat, and or no, he was sitting in the back, maybe, I don't know, maybe him and his wife. Didn't get that whole story. If I'll link to the story in the show notes. Hopefully, I'll remember to do that. But anyway, as they were flying through 12,000 feet, the pilot collapses and dies, and this guy, who was a pilot himself, but he was a really low-time private pilot, single-engine land. That's all he was qualified to fly. And, the difference between, your average Cessna and the King Air is like night and day. The King Air is closer to an airliner as far as the controls and of course the private pilot not being at all familiar with throttle settings and speeds and flap settings and and all the intricacies of flying complex aircraft such as the King Air. He didn't know what to do. Well, the airplane, was climbing out on autopilot, and he contacts, I believe it was Miami Center, I think, which is the air traffic control center covering that part of Florida. And they get him off of autopilot and, get him stabilized, hand flying the thing, and then they pass him off to Fort Myers approach. And I've got a recording of the air traffic control exchange, and this happened just this last Sunday, Easter Sunday. So it's a relatively fresh story. But anyway, let me go ahead and play this air traffic control exchange as this guy brings the airplane home. And he did a hell of a job, and you could tell in his last transmission that he was starting to lose it a little. But man, oh man, good job, and bummer about the other pilot. But everybody else on board was saved, and the air traffic controller, you'll notice, is very calm about it. He was apparently in communication with somebody familiar with the King Air B200, and so anyway, let's take it from there. He's just been handed off to Fort Myers Fort Myers approach control.
Fort Myers Center, King Air 559er Delta Whiskey.
King Air 559er Delta Whiskey, Fort Myers approach. And are you in a descent right now, sir?
I am. What you want me to do with it? Hold it or what?
Actually, if you can, we can just start a descent down to 5,000. And we're getting some help from another pilot that's familiar with the airplane. We'll get you some information. Can you descend the airplane?
I can, down to 5,000 on heading 270. This is a King Air 200.
King Air 9er Delta Whiskey, Roger. We're passing that information now. If you're able, fly heading 240 and descend and maintain 5,000. Just take your time. We'll set you up for the airport.
All right, 240 to 5,000, 9er Delta Whiskey.
And November 9er Delta Whiskey, are you using the autopilot or are you flying the airplane?
I'm in the good Lord's hand flying this 9er Delta Whiskey.
Okay, very good. Thank you. 9 Delta Whiskey, are you a licensed pilot?
No time, single engine land, 9er Delta Whiskey.
Okay, very good. King Air 9 Delta Whiskey, when you're ready, turn left heading 180. We'll start working you towards the airport. Whenever you're ready to turn, fly heading 180.
180 to 5,000 for 9er Delta Whiskey. I need to slow my descent down. That's 2,500 feet per minute here. I need to get my throttle set for this descent. I don't know where to set it at.
Okay, sir, we'll get some information. If you just retard it just a little bit, and I'll get you an answer on that. And if you want to stop the descent, that's fine, too.
I'm 150 knots. I need to keep from stalling this airplane. I'm just going through a little descent here.
Okay, sir, just advance the throttles. And your altitude's good, so I guess just pick up the speed with the throttles and try to hold 5,000 feet. And 9 Delta Whiskey, the information I'm getting now is to leave the props and the power where it's at and just fly like you normally would a single engine for now.
All right, 9er Delta Whiskey.
You got any alarms or warnings going off?
Oh, just heavy trim.
Okay, heavy trim. Okay, I'll pass that on. Now they're telling me the trim control is on the yoke, and it's on the left-hand side of the yoke where the thumb would be, on the upper left-hand side of the yoke for trim.
Understand.
That might help you keep from the yoke forces.
9er Delta Whiskey, 4,700 for 3.
9 Delta Whiskey, more information for you about the throttles. Just operate them like you normally would in a single engine. They said the turbine will respond to it pretty similarly. So just as far as power and airspeed, you can just operate it like a normal throttle. King Air 9er Delta Whiskey, fly heading 070, vector to the airport.
070, 9er Delta Whiskey. I think I see a runway at 12 o'clock and about 7-8 miles, 9er Delta Whiskey.
9 Delta Whiskey, that's correct. You're looking at the right runway. That's runway 6 at International, and you're about a 15-mile final now. And 9 Delta Whiskey, you are cleared to land, cleared to land runway 6.
Appreciate it. Cleared to land runway 6, 9er Delta Whiskey. I need to talk to my flaps, 9er Delta Whiskey. When I touch down, if I ever touch down, do I just kill the throttle or what?
That's correct. When you touch down, slowly kill the throttle.
9er Delta Whiskey through 1,400. Got 140 indicated. Got dead pilots inside me.
9 Delta Whiskey, I believe you got one more D10 left on the flaps, so when you get to 120, it'll be full flaps at 120. And 9 Delta Whiskey, you don't have to respond. More information, once you make it onto the ground, just center line with the rudder pedals, you kill the throttle, and maximum braking.
Got it, 9 Delta Whiskey.
You have plenty of runway, sir, so if you got to add a lot of power to make the threshold, that's fine. You got 12,000 feet of runway.
Full flaps, 9 Delta Whiskey, 120 indicated.
9 Delta Whiskey, Roger. It looks good from here. Good job.
Wind check again.
340 at 3 knots. It's almost calm.
That's the way you want, Pard.
9 Delta Whiskey, the runway's all yours. You can turn left or right, whatever's easier for you. Power all the way back, and they're telling me max braking.
Brilliant, buddy. Thank you. 9 Delta Whiskey.
9 Delta Whiskey, when you're ready, you can go to ground frequency 121.9. Nice work.
121.9, thank you.
Sunny skies, no delays. Looks like everything's on time today. No cancellations, reservations. Get on board, it don't cost a thing. No. So if you feeling like you need to leave it all behind, come along with me, we gonna have a good time. Let's take an airplane ride, let's take it way up high, where you've never been before. Baby, we gonna soar. I'll take you under my wings till you learn how to fly. Let's take an airplane ride. Airplane ride. An airplane ride. Sugar, free your mind. Don't you know there is a place that we can go? Take my hand, let's slip away. Forget about the things happened yesterday. It'll be alright, be a beautiful for life. If you're feeling like you need to leave it all behind, come along with me, we're gonna have a good time. Let's take an airplane ride, take it way up high, where you've never been before. Baby, we gonna soar. I'll take you under my wings until you learn how to fly. Airplane ride. I'll take you around the world. Oh yeah, we'll go first class. So baby, hold on tight, because we take off fast. Gonna take you miles high, sure to be a frequent flyer. Promise you won't be the same. Step onto my airplane, yeah. Let's take an airplane ride. I'll take you under my wings until you learn how to fly. Let's take an airplane ride. Airplane ride. Let's take it way up high, where you've never been before. Oh baby, we gonna soar. I'll take you under my wings until you learn how to fly. Let's take an airplane ride. Airplane ride. Let's take it way up high, never been before. We gonna soar. I'll take you under my wings till you learn how to fly. Let's take an airplane ride. Airplane ride. I'm gonna clear out. I'm gonna clear up your bumpy skies. I realize you can take any airline of your choice. Thank you for choosing me, baby. Buckle up.
Okay, that's Sierra off of the PodSafe Music Network called Airplane Ride. And like I said, of course, before that we heard the air traffic controller at Fort Myers Approach talking down a single-engine land qualified private pilot in a King Air 200 after his the primary pilot in charge keeled over. Sad for the deceased pilot, but very good news for all else on board. And definitely, like I said, had to have been a harrowing experience for the guy. Hopefully he'll go on and get his multi-engine turbine rating and all that stuff now that he's got a little taste of it, albeit in strange circumstances. Like I said, a lot of pilots that have limited experience think they can do that, and maybe they could, but I'd like to think I could, but don't know. Never tried. I have been at the controls of a King Air. I taxied from the end of the runway to about 3/4 of the way to the ramp at Meigs Field in Chicago. That's the little airport that sticks out into Lake Michigan that's no longer an airport, and it's now a park, thanks to my least favorite mayor in the country, Richard Daley of Chicago. I dislike that guy on several levels, but closing Meigs Field in the middle of the night, he actually hired a private company to go out there and destroy the runway at 3 in the morning while there was still aircraft on the ramp. So it stranded several aircraft on the ramp, and it was against federal FAA rules. You know, they have to have 30 days notice to close down an airport. That's listed with the FAA. And of course, he ignored that. And he's kind of a pompous ass anyway, like I said, on several fronts. But he got away with it. He's still mayor. And Chicago would be my second favorite city. But since he's there, it knocks it down to about fourth. I still enjoy going to Chicago, but like I said, there's several reasons why politically that's not my favorite area of the country. In fact, the whole state of Illinois, although beautiful in some spots, they got almost as screwball laws as California. But I gotta say, I had much better time in California when I was out there. So anyway, enough of the soapbox there. Hey, I remember, I don't know if it was last podcast, maybe a couple podcasts ago, I mentioned there was 2 things that I didn't want to talk about yet. Well, one of them I can talk about now because it's official. I've accepted a position with Raw Voice Incorporated, the parent company of Blueberry and Tech Podcast Network, along with Podcast FAQ, Podcaster News, and what's the other one? Podcast Promos, which I guess is a partnership between Raw Voice and my friend Tom Wiles, Trucker Tom. So anyway, I'm going to be, I am currently working part-time as a tech support specialist. Actually, I'm the tech support for Blueberry, Raw Voice, or primary tech support. I get to filter all the email requests and whatnot, and if it's something I can handle, I just handle it. If it's something I can't handle, I pass on to the appropriate Raw Voice team member. So anyway, it's just that's a part-time gig, something to do and to help out a company I believe in. I believe Raw Voice and Blueberry Network, which, like I said, this podcast is part of Blueberry, and I have another podcast part of the Tech Podcast Network now. Just recently, the Ham Radio Podcast became part of the Tech Podcast Network. And like I said, so if you have any trouble with any of Blueberry's services, when you click the contact button on the website, I get the email. So anyway, it'll be a lot of fun working with those guys. I've been friends with Todd and Angelo for quite some time now. And Todd being the CEO of Raw Voice, find him over at geeknewscentral.com. And of course, Angelo Mandato, who is the Chief Technical Officer, I guess is his official title with Raw Voice. He designs or does the coding for the websites. And that's another project I'm going to be involved in. They're changing the platform on one of the websites, and I'm going to be doing a little data transitioning, or a content relocation, I guess you'd call it. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty mundane stuff, but like I said, it's a company I believe in and a network that I believe in, so it's a good thing. And it's along my area of interest. And when you're doing work that is part of your hobby, it no longer seems like work. Either that or it turns the hobby into a nightmare, but I don't think that's the case. So that's the one thing. I still can't talk about the second thing, but stand by for that. And let's see. In the real radio world, or the broadcast radio world, of course, I work for a part-time also. Lots of part-time things going on. But I do a folk and bluegrass show, and now it's moved to every single week on Tuesdays at 7 for a couple hours. I do the folk air show on our little community radio station here. But one of the problems, not the problems, one of the chores that has to be done when you're working for a public radio station, it's not public in the same way as NPR and all those, or PBS or any of that. It's publicly funded community radio. The college only provides the space for the studios, and they provide the the lights and air conditioning, whatever, for the studio. So they provide the actual physical location for the studio, and they provide the license. They hold the broadcast license for the station, but other than that, it's not really connected with the college, so it's not your typical college radio station. It's what's called community radio. If you Google community radio or go look on Wikipedia, it explains that. It's different from standard public radio. But anyway, like I said, one of the chores we have to do every 6 months or so is a fundraiser. The radio station operates on a budget of about $100,000 a year. About $70,000 of that per year comes from donations and pledge drives. So last night I spent 2 hours doing my part of the Begathon. That's what I call it. It's the spring fundraiser. And it was actually kind of fun. I kind of was dreading it. I dread it every time it comes up, but especially when I've got a host. And anyway, it actually turned out pretty good. We brought in a fair amount of money for our 2-hour block. Had the music director, the folk music director, in helping me pitch, and played some good music, and got the phones ringing pretty good. So, and it's funny, after spending 2 hours reciting the phone number and the website and all the spiel about it, I have a hard time not breaking into that as we speak. If you want to hear some of that, go to WNMC.org and click on Listen Live, and all the rest of this week you'll hear lots of begging for money. Yeah, oh well. One of the necessary evils of that type of radio, I guess. And that's why I guess I'm a little scratchy today. I generally don't talk for 2 hours straight. Actually, it wasn't quite 2 hours straight, because I did play some tunes, but far less music and far more talking than I'm used to when we were doing that last night. And I got to pull one more shift on the fundraiser, except for this time I'm just going to be manning the phone bank, and I'll be doing that Friday morning for morning jazz. So I'll get to go sit over there for 3 hours and listen to some good jazz, and talk to some folks on the phone, hopefully bringing in the money. So anyway, well, I guess I'll call this a podcast. Get it uploaded. I'll try to remember to throw a link in there to the full story on the King Air landing there in Fort Myers. And like I said, I wish I could tell you about my second project, but you're just going to have to wait. But it's a similarly positive project. Could turn into something really cool, or could turn into something moderately cool. But anyway, it'll be fun, and I'll have more information about that as the weeks go on. I won't say any more. You might get the idea before the idea is fully baked. So, with that, I will get out of here. I'd like to thank everybody that emailed me over the last, emailed, Twittered, Facebooked me over the last couple of weeks. And definitely appreciate the feedback and all that good stuff. One of my favorite Twitters I got there was Mike James again. He's always a source of interesting stuff. He twittered that he was listening to Mike Dell's World number 117, and he wasn't sure if it was called Mike Dell's World or Mike Dell's Lunch. Well, it wasn't really lunch. My lunch break. I've been known to do that from time to time. So, anyway, with that, this is Mike Dell's World, number 118. I'm Mike Dell, and we'll catch you next time. I'll try to get back on my Monday release schedule. Today being Wednesday, I obviously missed that. I think the week before I missed it altogether. Then I had that combined Mike Dell's World, Mike Dell's Lunch, and What's Up With That? By the way, I heard from Jim Farley. He's doing pretty good. He's back to work with a helper. So he's out there doing his thing. He's back in the studio, so it won't be this Friday, but probably the following Friday we'll get together and do a What's Up With That podcast. The only reason we wouldn't do it this Friday, I think, is because I'm going to be at the jazz show for 3 hours, and I'm going to get some sleep. Working this doggone night shift. So, speaking of which, it's past my bedtime, so we'll catch you later. Same bat channel, don't know what time.
That's all, folks.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Find freshly picked podcasts just for you at blueberry.com. That's blueberry, no ease.com.